Hello, and welcome to Star Wars Obsessed. I'm Richard, and who could that be? Look, everybody, it's Gary! Yay! What's up, Gary?
Hey, you got a package.
A package? From whom?
From the next 17.
Oh. Hello and welcome to Star Wars Obsessed. I'm Richard and this is my husband, Gary. I wanted to do something different. I basically wanted to see how it would work if I invited Gary to sit with me and talk about the action figures that I get. And on this episode, I had received the Wave 3 of... So I thought it would be fun to have Gary join in on this and, ask him a few things about Star Wars. Just maybe a little bit of banter. We'll see how it goes.
I'm game.
Hopefully he'll open up a little bit more, say a few more things. As I said, I did get the Wave 3 from the next 17. As is always the case with the Wave or with the figures, I get a letter. So there's always a letter that accompanies the figures with the next 17, basically saying thank you so much for your purchase. It's very nice. It's a very personal touch, and I love it. Aww. It's really good stuff. All right, let's take a look at the figures. One thing that I think is really cool, it's a very nice touch. They are individually packaged with
bubble wrap.
With bubble wrap. Yeah, they all have bubble wrap. And not just bubble wrap, but also wrapped in plastic. Nice way of protecting each of the figures as they travel. So they're not bumping into each other, rubbing against, maybe possibly rubbing off the paint, I guess. But it's a very nice touch. Shows the care that goes into transporting these figures or creating these figures. Mm-hmm. So Gary, have you ever collected action figures?
No.
Never?
No action figures.
Never.
I mean, I had action figures as a kid that I played with, but not as a collection.
Oh.
So I had G.I. Joes. That was really my thing. I had G.I. Joes because that's what I could get my hands on. Very, very poor. So, and a lot of it was either secondhand or I got it from other people, yard sales, whatever I could get that way. But going to a toy store, that was kind of like, that was a rare occurrence.
And what is the name of this figure? We know that with the card. It also includes this really cool character card that names all the characters. So this one is
Faltapern.
What do you think, Gary? When you take the plastic off.
I like the detail on the face. There's a lot of detail. I don't think you'd have gotten that much detail on the original Kenner line.
Well, you would in the later edition of the figures, like Return of the Jedi on, and these are supposed to be the next 17. So basically figures that would have come out in 85 or 86 after the Power of the Force figures. So there would be that much detail.
Oh, okay. I like blues. I really, really like blues. And I like them when they're different shades. And I'm trying to think of any of the figures that have that particular shade of blue, which is different. A lot of gray tone in it, and I like it.
It's got marked with N17-23.
Oh, for 2023.
The limbs move just fine, very tight. This is just like the way Kenner would do it. Very cool.
That would have been in Return of the Jedi?
No, this is in Star Wars.
Oh, but is he like a Cantina figure?
Cantina, yeah. Okay. All of these will be Cantina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I just noticed the chain. Is that a whip or something? The detail there.
I like it. Mm-hmm. What is the next figure? This figure is...
Who could it possibly be? Say it!
Not that far off. Devil Man.
Really good detail on the head, the facial features.
Oh yeah.
So like the torso and the legs use the same mold as Faltapern, but the arms different, and I think it's a really good way of using the same mold, a more cost-efficient way. Pretty awesome. Everything moves just fine. Another great one.
This is also a Cantina figure?
All Cantina.
Okay. You're going to have a packed bar.
Sure am. And I plan on rearranging my Cantina, all because of these wonderful figures. All right, Gary, what is next? Ooh.
There you go.
Excellent. So, how do you feel about Star Wars?
I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
I know I'm not. I know that I'm not like you. That it's like it's an obsession kind of a thing.
Obsession.
But I do enjoy it. I do have a good time with it. I like stories that have mythology building, so I think that's what makes it particularly good. I get more into that than like a lot of the fighting and that kind of stuff. I like it more when they deal with the creation of the Force and that kind of stuff. Those episodes. It's one of the things I liked about the video game Knights of the Old Republic. That they really did a lot of myth building with that, and I kind of would like to see them incorporate that into future stuff.
All right. Very cool. So, what is this figure? The Dr. Evazan with his mangled face. That is a very nice detail.
Yeah. And they never made this?
They did not make this in the original Kenner run.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was the one with Walrus Man.
Because Walrus Man is the one that gets his hand or arm chopped off, right?
Yeah. And you think that they would have made this one, but they didn't.
Because he actually had a line, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he spoke.
He doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
I thought so.
Looks awesome. I love it.
I grew up watching a lot of Star Wars, but I never memorized details from it. It's mostly been because of being with you. So it's like a lot of things that I recognize that I know and can quote or say or anything is because of my time with you.
Oh. See, that's what makes me awesome.
It is.
Star Wars influencer. What is this figure?
Hem Dazon.
So Hem Dazon has very different arms, similar torso, very different pate. The head, obviously quite unique. And what is really cool about this figure, look at the eyes.
They're gold.
It's kind of shiny, huh?
Yeah.
That is so cool. What a really great detail. Actually, the detail on the whole head is pretty amazing.
Yeah. He appears skinnier than the others to me, but it's the
Still
same.
has the same torso, yeah. But like a different detail, like the buckle on this one is silverish and black. Whereas, let's see, Devilman,
Solid
he does
black.
not have his silver buckle. So, little touches here and there to differentiate. Different colors in the boots.
It's interesting because they always say black is slimming, but I swear it makes this figure looks like he has a skinnier torso, but it's obviously not.
So how you liking Ahsoka?
Oh, I like Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that they've gone to that Dathomir planet with the witches. I'm hoping to get to see more of that stuff. Again, that goes back to that myth building and the fantasy element. I really like Ray Stevenson. I'm really sad that he died. So it's sad that character is not, or at least that character with him. I don't know if they're going to recast or
continue in another season.
Yeah. But let's be honest, dude's hot. I liked reading about, see, this goes to the myth building. I really liked reading about the whole idea of that in the original Star Trek, the idea that here you have Luke being trained out in the wild, and the idea with the original or the prequel series, now all of a sudden you're really talking about these people who are trained formally. I liked how Filoni brought into this series this idea of the wild trained versus the formal trained, and that that continues this idea, and how he has this perception that obviously if you're wild trained you're not as good. Obviously not true, because you've had Luke who was able to win, you've had Rey who was able to win. I mean, even Ezra was never trained formally. So I really like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really cool things that add to that universe building with this that I think that isn't just fan service, but is actually deepening our understanding of their world, of their universe.
It's a good show. Very important figure is the next one. This is Wooher, however you pronounce his name.
Oof.
But this is the bartender for the cantina. Very important. And I'm so happy to finally have a vintage style version of this character to add to my vintage creature cantina. I'm trying to get the plastic
So
off.
this is another one that they created later, but not in the original line.
Right. Kenner created the cantina, but did not create the bartender. The detail goes into the face, which is great. The hair looks fantastic. Very much Tatooine attire. The tan all over with the boots. This is brilliant.
You think that it allowed the next 17 to be able to focus more on the faces
I think so.
by not having to focus on the body?
I think so. I think it's a really good idea.
And I'm okay with the idea that the bodies don't have to be varied, because let's be honest, how many of us wear the same clothes? We're both wearing t-shirts. T-shirts. How many of us, so this whole idea that everybody has to be wearing something completely different
Right.
doesn't always make sense.
This is brilliant. It's a great idea. All right. So you liked Ahsoka, but you didn't like Obi-Wan.
God, what was my problem with Obi-Wan?
I was the only one who finished. I think he watched the first 2 episodes and then he was done. And I finished the whole series.
Did I? I think I just kept falling asleep in it.
Yeah,
I couldn't even stay awake.
Well, that's it. You just watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes. That was it. The rest I watched on my own because you were done.
Yeah, I might go back and revisit it, but it's one of those that, and it's probably explained, but that series doesn't make sense to me, because the idea that Obi-Wan had such a connection with, right, because he spends a lot of time with Leia, it just seems out of place. She should know then that he's alive, that he's doing, well, I mean, she does, because she calls for him in A New Hope, but it felt awkward. So I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I might go back and visit it, but I just know that I had trouble staying awake watching it, so...
So the last figure is Wolfman, or Laxivrak, yeah. And this is another figure that was not created in the original vintage Kenner line.
So, I know like there's Hammerhead, Wolfman, Walrusman, and then they all get names. When do they get the names?
I think they got the names during, after the movies, when they started creating the extended universe.
So like the book, when they started writing books and stuff?
Like the books, yeah, the role-playing games.
So they had to give them, they couldn't just call him Wolfman.
Yeah, and then they gave them names, and then those names transferred to the action figures that they started coming out in the 90s.
Okay.
What do you think of the detail on the face?
Oh, wow. Is that supposed to make it look like fangs?
Yeah.
With the gap in the middle?
But he literally looked like a wolf man.
Very menacing. If I had my choice to be any of the classic monsters, it would definitely be a werewolf. I like the fur.
So yeah, this figure looks great. The head sculpt, it's brilliant. And then you got the arms specific for this character with the fur on the arms. This is a great idea, great set of figures. I love this. Not only did I get figures, but I also got accessories. So we're gonna take a brief look at the accessories. All right, so here's a brown cape.
That would be for him, Dazon.
Cape looks great. And it's a very different design. I think this goes on Devilman. Get Devilman. The arms. That.
Okay.
And that.
Oh, cool.
Just like that. Wee-hee.
I like that. That's a very different look.
Yeah.
I really like that, and it gives like that tail feature.
Yeah.
More depth.
This is nicely protected. This is the vest for Dr. Evazan.
Oh, okay.
I like that it's in this paper sleeve to protect the vest.
Yeah, because that's so delicate.
Nice touch.
Lots of bar cups.
So we got a blue one, a red one, and green. So this is the variety of the cups. Blue, red, and green. Lots of bar cups. It's so cool. Extra accessories. That's awesome. Cool. These weapons look great. A completely different design This is not a design by Kenner. It's unique for the Next 17, and it looks great. Looks like something that Kenner would have done. So we got the gray one and a black one. These are some great looking weapons. It's the thermal detonator. And this is pretty cool. A little bit of shiny silver. Looks really good.
Yeah.
With a little red dot in the middle to show that it's activated. The black part, the trigger that's on the top. This looks awesome. And also included is this backdrop for the cantina. It's very nicely detailed. And I may end up using it in my redesign of the creature cantina that I have up here. I'm going to redesign that. Check out the Next 17. The link will be in the description below. All right, well, thank you for joining me on this video and a look at these Next 17 figures. I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I hope you had fun. And if you did, then give this video a thumbs up and click subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. See you on the next Star Wars Obsessed.
Bye.